Hi, I'm Midge Shoemaker, and today is day 34 of my doing 100 days of YouTube videos and focusing on doing at least 2 things every day that I don't want to do, but I know are good for me to do. So, yay for day 34. Only 66 days to go. I do like the number 6, but right now I'm not looking forward to 66 more days of this. Today was another one of those days where I just did not want to do anything today at all. I guess that's not entirely true. I started out my day okay. I was running a little bit later this morning than I wanted to be for the dentist, but I got there on time, like less than 5 minutes late, so it's not a big deal. And got to work fairly on time, so that was okay. But I don't know. I didn't tell anybody that I still had a migraine because it just won't go away. I just kind of did my best to take care of myself, put in my time, put in my hours, kind of was hoping I wouldn't have to stay as late as I did today. I didn't have to stay as late as I did today. I just chose to. And then by the time I got home, I was like, I didn't want to do anything. I was done. I was annoyed at something at work. Just stupid stuff. Overreacting, which is what I do, and I don't like to do that. I don't like to get upset, and well, I guess I do get upset. I just I don't like to get angry and yell at people because I remember what that was like when I was a kid, and it scared me to do that to other people. And sometimes I just don't know what to do with my energy. And part of me just wanted to come home and just give up and just quit. And I knew that wasn't the right thing to do. And I didn't want to deal with my feelings. I didn't want to deal with my emotions. I just wanted to shut down after work because I was just really upset about something petty, something stupid. And I knew I was just overreacting to it, and I was just taking everything so personally and feeling like nothing I do matters, and I can't get anything right, and I can't, like, I just can't do this job because I keep messing up, and I mean, it was just crazy, me overreacting today. And I came home and I'm like, I just didn't want to do anything at all besides just shutting down. But I did not shut down. I said a prayer instead, and I put away my clothes that have been sitting around on my couch for a couple of days. So I don't have a dryer, so I just lay them out to dry, and I just hadn't bothered to put them away since I did laundry. And then I put away my clean dishes. I didn't get around to actually washing dishes, but I did put away my clean dishes, which I didn't really want to do that either. And I made dinner, also something I didn't really want to do. And then, of course, I did try to just kind of shut everything out and try to shut down, and I didn't want to make my video tonight, and I wanted to give up because I was just feeling overwhelmed with everything that I want to do and don't want to do in my life, and just feeling frustrated, and I was just wanted to be done. I just wanted to be done. And then I started having an asthma attack, and sometimes my asthma is brought on by anxiety, and sometimes it's brought on by allergies, sometimes overexertion, just combination of things. So I'm not sure if it was allergies or if it was just because I was super anxious about everything, and I was like, this is not fair. And I think that was probably God's way of telling me that I can't just give up, and I can't just stop living my life just because things don't go the way that I want them to, and I can't take everything that happens to me personally. I can't live my life that way. It just doesn't work. And just because somebody said something that it's something I should have just laughed off, or I should have just been like, okay, fine, whatever, simple adjustment, it's not a big deal, it's a minor little thing, and I'm taking it to the extreme, the absolute extreme, because that's what I do. So I ended up having to say another prayer. I had to use my inhaler, and I had to do a lot of journaling and just recognizing that there were other people that are going through other things that I don't even know all of what they're going through. And, maybe I'm just the person that they're, the last straw said or did something that just tipped the iceberg over, and I'm the one that, gets the brunt of whatever it is. And I also realize that that's just an assumption, because somebody said something to my supervisor, and my supervisor sent me an email about it, and it was something stupid, and I don't even know who it was that said it. So my imagination gone wild again, and it does that, which sometimes is good for me because it helps with my stories and my book ideas and things like that. But sometimes it just gets me into trouble because I overreact and I panic and I take things personally and I go way to the extreme, and nobody likes me, everybody hates me kind of a thing, and that's not true, and I know that's not true, and that's not how I feel when I'm at work, and I don't feel like anyone treats me like that I'm like that horrible of a person, or like I'm the black sheep and nobody wants to be around me, nobody wants to talk to me. I don't feel like that at all at work. I get along with my coworkers. I don't feel a lot of tension around them. So I think it was probably just somebody having a bad day or overreacting to something that I did, or thinking that I should do things differently. And it's not that what I was doing was bad or wrong. There's just different ways of doing it. And so they just didn't like the way that I was doing it. And I mean, I can do it a different way if I have to. It's not going to kill me, and it'll probably save my job. So it's not that big of a deal, but I made a big, huge to-do out of it. And then I was angry and upset, and I was grateful that it was the end of the day when I saw the email and that I could just leave and go home. But it also means I have to deal with my emotions and my feelings, which I don't like to do. I've probably said that in many a video, and I just didn't want to do. But, and by not doing it though, I seemed to be holding on to it, and my body started reacting, and I was having an asthma attack and I couldn't breathe, and I was like, great. So the only way I can do this is if I actually deal with my emotions and I actually let myself be upset, and I let myself journal about it, and I put things into their proper perspective. And in their proper perspective, it's just something silly and ridiculous, and it's just a matter of one opinion over another, and it's just a different way of doing things, and one way seems better to someone else, and it doesn't mean that my way is wrong, it's just different. But if they want it to sound the other way, if they want me to do it a different way, I'm perfectly capable of doing that too. But I also feel like, whoever didn't like what I was doing could have said it directly to my face. And then I realized that I've done that my entire life. I've never been brave enough to say something to someone's face when they upset me or offended me, or I didn't like something they were doing. It was very easy for me to tell someone else, to cry to somebody else, to complain to someone else, but it's never easy for me to just say it directly to them that I'm uncomfortable with something, or that I didn't like what they said, or whatever it was. Or that I thought what they were doing was annoying, or that I thought what they were doing was wrong. I could just never say it to their face. So it kind of forced me to put myself in that person's position. I'm like, oh, I have a hard time telling people that myself. So I can't really be that upset with this person for not telling me. And this way it keeps them anonymous, and it doesn't ruin any kind of relationship that we have, because I don't know who it is that said it. It just kind of makes me a little bit paranoid and on edge, because I don't know who I'm annoying. So, because I'm just getting it from my supervisor, who wasn't sitting in the same side of the building that I was on, so she couldn't see what was going on. So she's only got what the other person said, and didn't even ask what I was doing or what I did. She was just like, this is what I heard, so you have to fix it. And I was like, great. So, but, I don't always, when I would say things or be upset about other people, I didn't always say it to their face, but I also didn't always say it to someone that would, get back to them. But then again, it might have got back to them, and I have no idea. So I realized that that's something I need to work on being better at, and I need to make amends for, but I can't remember all the times or people or places that I did that for. So openly on my YouTube channel, I'm sorry to anybody that I've offended or talked to about behind your back, because I didn't have the courage to say I didn't like what you were doing, or it upset me in some way, and it was probably something petty or silly or whatever, something I had no control over, couldn't change, or maybe something that had we talked it out, probably could have, remained friends or worked through things and whatever. I don't know. Anyway, it forced me to, like I said, face myself like a mirror, to see myself differently and to realize that I struggle with the same thing, that I'm frustrated that someone else is doing. And it's like, okay, that means that I need to make amends and I need to make changes in my life and I need to do better at telling people or just keeping my mouth shut. Because if I'm not going to say anything to them, then I shouldn't be saying anything to anybody else. And that is that is really hard for me. So that is something I am going to have to learn and I'm going to have to work on. So it just allowed me an opportunity to see things in a different light and a different perspective. And I think it's just God's way of teaching me. So even though I don't really want the lesson and I didn't really realize that I needed the lesson, by allowing myself to journal and praying about it and processing all of those things, I was given a different perspective. Not one I particularly like, but one that allows me to see that I do have some things to work on in myself. And yeah, maybe the thing at work is just the silly petty thing I can just kind of laugh off, or I can just try to not do in the future. But it's still, I think it was more the fact that whoever was annoyed with me didn't speak up and say something, or didn't just correct me so I could stop what I was doing that was irritating them. They went to my supervisor instead. And it's like, okay, you didn't even give me a chance. You didn't even say anything. So I'm like, okay. But so anyway, I'm still struggling to let that go. I really have a hard time letting things go, and I need to learn how to let things go and not hold on to things. And I need to learn how to be open and honest and confront people, even though that's not my strong suit. I am not very good at that at all. So I think today was just a lot of lessons and learning things and reminders that I don't get to just quit my life. I don't get to just quit my job because I'm upset about something. And I don't get to just give up on all of my goals because I'm feeling overwhelmed about all the things that I need to do, and temporarily forgetting that I can do things one day at a time, and I don't have to do it all today, and I don't have to necessarily work on any of it today if I'm not feeling good, but that I can't give up on it. I have to continue to work towards that goal if it's what I really want. And so I do have goals and I do have deadlines for myself that are coming up pretty quickly. So I do need to take the time and make the effort to work on them and to work through my fears, and to not let myself be afraid and be overwhelmed, and to trust more in God. And I think God is just trying to show that to me and giving me all of these lovely little life lessons that I don't necessarily want to see. I know I need them, and I know they're good for me, and I am grateful that I am willing to recognize them and aware that it means I do need to make more changes in my life. But change is hard for me. I imagine change is hard for everyone, and it's hard to recognize that there's my side of things, that I played a part in whatever happened today, and that I can make some changes. And just because I'm making some changes doesn't mean I'm losing who I am, and it doesn't mean that it also doesn't mean that I'm not good enough or that I can't handle this job. It just means I need to make some changes to accommodate for other people, and I need to learn how to take better care of myself and speak up for myself as well. So things I'm not good at, things I need to learn to do. And I repeat myself a lot. My brain just spins around in circles and it gets stuck on an idea, and it's really hard for me to let it go and to realize that there's so many other things going on in the world and so many other things going on with other people too that I'm just not aware of. And so maybe something that I did today annoys them, but it wouldn't have annoyed them yesterday or tomorrow because of their circumstances today. So I need to remember that too, because I know that's true for me when I'm upset or on edge or I don't feel good. Little things that don't normally bother me like crazy. And when I'm feeling good and fine and stuff like that doesn't bother me at all. So also things for me to learn and to remember and to keep into mind. So lots of learning going on. And I wasn't planning on life lessons today. I didn't want to have life lessons today. I was like, this is not what I want to do today. I don't really want to do anything today. I don't feel good. I want to go to bed early. I just want to shut down. I just don't want to deal with it. I want to come home and take work off and forget work exists. I want to quit my job so I don't have to deal with anything in my life. And God is just like, it doesn't work that way. You can't just quit. You can't just give up, and you can't just shut down, which is what I would normally do. And so I'm very grateful to God for helping me to not do all of those things, to go against my own nature or my own habits of just shutting down, and for helping me to write in my journal, for helping me to face my feelings, for helping me to put things in a different perspective and a different light, and to be aware of things I was unaware of before and things I don't really want to face. But I know it's best for me to learn those things so that I can make those changes in myself, so that I can be aware of what I'm doing and try not to do them in the future. It doesn't mean I won't do them in the future, because I'm not perfect and change doesn't happen overnight. But at least now I'm aware of them, and I've probably been made aware of them in the past and just forgot about it, because I do that too. I forget. So I may have to be reminded again in the future. So anyway, I apologize for anyone that I may have offended and not known it. Wasn't my intention. I don't think it's ever been my intention, but apparently I do things that others find annoying and or offensive, and I can't always control that. And sometimes I'm just simply oblivious. I know that about myself. I am not the most observant person of other people and other things, and I don't get a lot of social cues that other people put out there. So I need people to just be like blunt and just face value right there, and just be like, hey. And I need to learn how to do that with other people. So more things for me to learn how to do that I just don't want to do. Hence my video. And trying to see things in a light of learning and gratitude, and not in a place of complaining and giving up, which is really what I wanted to do when I came home from work. When I left work, I just wanted to complain and I wanted to give up. So I'm grateful that I'm trying to see it now from a place of learning and a place of gratitude. And hopefully that will help me keep my job and get through another day and keep going with what I am trying to do with my life. So that is all for me and my ramblings today. If you like these videos, you can hit like, subscribe, share with someone else if you think they'll like it too. And I hope you have a great day full of gratitude, and maybe try doing one or two things you don't want to do, but it'd be good for you.